Welcome back to USA Coins 1, today the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of American coins, exploring their history, hidden treasures, and incredible market values that could make you rich today. In this video, we're talking about a coin that looks ordinary but can actually be worth a fortune, the 1974 Lincoln penny. Yes, this small copper coin from Denver can hold big surprises for collectors all over the world. So stay tuned till the very end, because we're uncovering everything, from its history, design secrets, errors, and current market value, to what makes some 1974 pennies sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's start with the story behind the 1974 Lincoln penny. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which produced a massive number of pennies that year, over 4.2 billion coins. It carries the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, celebrating 100 years since Lincoln's birth. The obverse shows Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty on the left side, the date 1974 on the right, and a small D mint mark just below the date indicating it was made in Denver. The reverse, as we all know, features the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that ran from 1959 until 2008. Although billions were minted, certain rare examples and errors can make this coin worth much more than just 1 cent. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In 1974, the U.S. Mint experimented with making pennies from aluminum instead of the traditional bronze composition because copper prices were rising. Around 1.5 million aluminum test pennies were made, but almost all were destroyed before public release. However, a few 1974 aluminum Lincoln cents escaped destruction, and today, those coins are considered legendary rarities. Even though the aluminum version was never officially released, collectors still hunt for them, dreaming of finding one. The Denver Mint reportedly made some as well, including the extremely rare 1974 aluminum cent. If one were ever authenticated and legally sold, experts believe it could be worth over $200,000 or more today, but even the standard 1974 Lincoln penny made of bronze can have incredible value depending on its condition, mint errors, and rarity. The coin's standard composition is 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. Many people don't realize that even circulation coins can carry collector premiums when preserved in top condition. Uncirculated 1974 Lincoln cents with full red luster can fetch $10 to $50 or more depending on grade. But once you move into high mint state grades certified by PCGS or NGC, especially MS67 red or higher, the prices can skyrocket. Some have sold for hundreds of dollars, and the highest graded examples can reach well into the $1,000 range. Let's talk about errors and varieties, because these are the true hidden gems for collectors. Some 1974 Lincoln pennies have doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. For example, a strong double die on the obverse showing doubling in Liberty or I in God We Trust can bring serious collector attention. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die cracks also make these coins more desirable. Even small die breaks that form shapes like an extra eyelid, raised lines, or cuts can boost value dramatically. A 1974 penny with a major mint error in top condition has sold for hundreds, and in rare cases, thousands, of dollars. Now, let's move into current market trends. In today's coin market, the 1974 Lincoln penny remains a favorite among both beginner and advanced collectors. While many examples are still easy to find, top-grade coins have become scarcer due to circulation wear over the decades. As of this year, certified high-grade 1974 pennies in mint state red condition can sell between $75 and $500 depending on eye appeal and toning. Error coins or special varieties can reach $1,000 or more. The aluminum prototype version, if ever found and verified, could exceed $100,000 easily, some estimates even push it near $1 million. That's why every coin collector should double-check their 1974 pennies, especially those with a D mint mark. What's also fascinating about the 1974 D penny is its historical timing. This was during an era of economic challenge for the U.S., inflation was rising, and copper prices were soaring, which made the mint experiment with cheaper materials. The penny itself is like a small piece of that financial history, a symbol of how even a simple coin reflects the struggles and innovations of an entire country. Every Lincoln penny tells a story of value, not just in money, but in history, art, and culture. The 1974 D penny is no exception. If you're a collector, here's what to look for when searching your coins. First, check for sharp details on Lincoln's hair, the lines on the memorial, and the lettering. The redder and shinier the coin, the higher its value potential. Use a magnifying glass or a microscope to inspect for any doubling or mint mark varieties. And if you find one in pristine condition or with a strange error, get it graded by a professional service. Certification can multiply its market value instantly. Collectors love verified pieces, and auctions often feature these coins with intense bidding wars. Now, when it comes to melt value, a 1974 D penny still made from mostly copper holds a small premium because of its metal content. Copper pennies minted before 1982 are about 95% copper, and with copper prices increasing, even their base metal value is interesting, but collectors and investors see much greater potential in numismatic value. The true worth lies in rarity, condition, and demand, not just the metal.as of today. The highest auction prices recorded for a 1974 D Lincoln penny reach impressive numbers. One example graded MS-67 red sold for nearly $9,000. That's right, a single cent turning into nearly $10,000. Others in slightly lower grades sell regularly for hundreds, proving that there's real money in these coins if you know what to look for. So when you come across a shiny 1974 D Lincoln penny, don't overlook it. It could be one of those valuable examples worth a lot more than face value. Collectors around the world continue to treasure Lincoln pennies for their beauty, history, and investment potential. From the earliest 1909 VDB issues to the modern shield reverse, each year carries its own story. The 1974 D stands out because it connects both old and new, the last full decade before the major metal change in 1982, and a reminder of America's economic history during the 1970s. In summary, the 1974 D Lincoln penny may look common, but its story is anything but ordinary. It's a coin that captures a turning point in U.S. minting history, holds strong collector demand, and offers the potential for amazing finds. Whether it's a mint state red beauty, a rare double die, or the mythical aluminum cent, this year's penny continues to excite coin lovers everywhere. Why coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth a lot of money. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet highly collectible coins in American history, the 1975 Lincoln penny. You might think it's just another cent, but the truth is, this little coin can be worth a lot more than you expect. Stay tuned because we're uncovering the secrets, history, minting details, and current market value of the 1975 Lincoln penny, including rare errors that can make your coin worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Let's start with the background. The 1975 Lincoln penny belongs to the legendary Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin features the beloved profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that has been a lasting tribute to one of America's greatest presidents. On the reverse, the coin displays the stunning image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., symbolizing unity and strength across the United States. Every detail of this penny tells a story of American pride and history. Now, the composition of the 1975 Lincoln penny is what makes it particularly special. It was struck in bronze, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that rich reddish-brown color that collectors adore. This was one of the last eras before the U.S. Mint switched to a cheaper zinc-based composition in 1982. Because of the high copper content, each 1975 penny carries intrinsic value in its metal alone, but the real excitement lies in its collectible worth and condition. The 1975 penny was minted in two main locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver carry the small D mark below the date. Philadelphia struck more than 5 billion pennies, while Denver produced over 4.5 billion. Despite these massive numbers, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition, or with a rare error, is where the real treasure hunt begins. Let's talk about those mint errors. Error coins from 1975 can skyrocket in value. Look out for double dies, off-center strikes, and coins with die cracks or misaligned dies. One of the most sought-after errors is the 1975 double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the word Liberty appears slightly doubled. This can make a regular penny worth hundreds of dollars depending on the clarity of the doubling and the coin's grade. Another type of rare 1975 penny is one struck on a foreign planchet or with a missing design detail. Such coins are true collector's gems, often fetching impressive prices in coin auctions. Now let's get into the grading and value. Condition plays the biggest role in determining the 1975 penny's worth. A heavily circulated 1975 Lincoln cent may be worth just 1 or 2 cents in worn condition, but uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, can easily command prices from $10 to $25 or more. Exceptional red-toned coins, preserved in mint state with full luster, can even reach $50 or beyond, but that's not all. Error coins and rare die varieties have sold for astonishing amounts. For example, certain 1975 D pennies with dramatic off-center strikes or major double dies have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars. In some cases, collectors have paid well over $900 for a flawless example with a unique error pattern. Yes, you heard that right. Your 1975 penny could be worth $898.958 or even more if it has the right features and condition. The coin market for Lincoln cents has seen steady growth over the years, especially for copper-based issues like the 1975 penny. With inflation, the rising price of copper, and renewed collector interest, these classic bronze cents are becoming increasingly valuable. Many coin experts recommend holding on to high-quality 1975 pennies, as their value could rise even higher in the future. When it comes to identifying whether your penny is worth money, pay close attention to these features. First, check for the mint mark, D for Denver or no mark for Philadelphia. Next, look at the color. Pennies are graded by tone as brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or full red, RD. Full red coins are the most desirable and command premium prices. Lastly, inspect the surface carefully for any unusual details. Doubling, die breaks, or off-center images can turn an ordinary penny into a coin worth hundreds. Collectors love the 1975 Lincoln penny because it bridges the golden copper era with the modern zinc era of coinage. It captures a moment in U.S. history when craftsmanship, metal content, and design excellence combine to create coins that truly stand the test of time. Holding a 1975 penny in your hand is like holding a piece of American history, a small yet powerful reminder of the nation's resilience and artistry. Now let's talk about the current market trends. As of today, the market for 1975 Lincoln pennies is strong. Collectors on online platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are paying premium prices for certified, mint-state coins. A high-grade MS-67 red 1975 D penny recently sold for over $1,000. Even mid-grade examples are selling for strong prices due to increased demand among Lincoln cent enthusiasts. With the continued rise of coin collecting as a hobby and investment, these coins remain a hot item. So what should you do if you find a 1975 penny in your collection or pocket change? First, handle it carefully. avoid cleaning or polishing it, as that can ruin its value. Examine it under good light or with a magnifying glass, check for mint marks and potential errors, and if it looks uncirculated, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. A small investment in grading can sometimes turn into a major profit if your coin is one of the rarities. The 1975 Lincoln penny continues to capture the hearts of coin lovers everywhere. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your coin journey, this coin represents everything exciting about collecting: mystery, value, history, and beauty. So take a closer look at your change, because you might be holding a small copper treasure that's worth far more than its face value. Today, we're going deep into the fascinating story of the Liberty 1976 Lincoln penny, a coin that many overlook, yet it carries a surprising history, a patriotic spirit, and an unexpected market value that continues to rise. Stay tuned till the end because this might just be the penny that turns your small collection into a fortune. Let's begin by setting the stage. The year was 1976, America's bicentennial, celebrating 200 years of freedom and independence. It was a year filled with patriotic pride, parades, and fireworks. The U.S. Mint was busy striking special designs for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins to mark this historic year. But interestingly, the humble Lincoln penny, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the word "Liberty" to his left, remained unchanged. While other denominations received flashy commemorative designs, the 1976 penny quietly carried on the legacy of Lincoln's image, but that doesn't mean it's ordinary. The D mint mark under the date indicates that this penny was minted in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1976 pennies, but hidden among those millions are coins with errors, high-grade conditions, and rare die varieties that collectors are willing to pay big money for. If you think a 1-cent coin can't be valuable, you're in for a surprise, because the current market value of some pristine examples has reached astonishing prices, with values climbing as high as $898.957 for top-graded and rare varieties. Now, let's explore what makes this coin so special. The 1976 Lincoln penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the classic pre-1982 composition that gives the coin its rich reddish-brown tone. Over time, copper pennies have gained attention not only for their numismatic worth but also for their metal value, as the copper content itself is worth more than the face value of the coin. This adds another layer of interest for collectors and investors alike, but not every 1976 penny is created equal. The true value depends on condition, mint errors, and rarity. Let's talk about the grades. A circulated 1976 penny found in pocket change might be worth around 2 to 10 cents depending on where, but a coin that's in uncirculated condition, known as mint state, can easily reach several dollars. When we move up to coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the value skyrockets. In mint state 67 red condition, this penny can fetch hundreds of dollars. In the ultra-rare mint state 68 red, collectors have paid thousands. And if you find a unique error variety or a double die obverse, the value could reach into the thousands. That's how a coin worth 1 cent can turn into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Error coins from the 1976 series are particularly exciting. Look for double die obverse, where the lettering in Liberty or In God We Trust appears slightly doubled. Some coins show repunched mint marks, where the D was stamped twice by the die. Off-center strikes, die cracks, or lamination errors can also increase the value dramatically. Each error tells a story of the minting process and adds uniqueness that serious collectors crave. Now, let's touch on the historical charm. The Lincoln penny design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The word Liberty on the left of Lincoln's portrait isn't just decoration, it symbolizes the very spirit of America's freedom, something that resonated deeply during the bicentennial year of 1976. So, owning a 1976 D penny is like holding a piece of America's celebration of liberty in your hands, a coin that silently marked 200 years of independence, while still honoring the man who preserved the Union. As the years have passed, collectors have started to appreciate the significance of these bicentennial-era pennies more and more. Copper pennies from the 1970s are gradually disappearing from circulation as people hoard them for their metal value or save them as part of their coin collections. This makes high-grade examples increasingly scarce and more desirable in the numismatic market. In today's market, demand for vintage Lincoln pennies is strong, especially among new collectors who are realizing that modern coins can still hold hidden treasures. The 1976 D penny has become a favorite among those looking for affordable investment coins, because while common examples are still easy to find, top-condition coins and era varieties continue to set record prices. On auction platforms, some 1976 D pennies in high mint state grades have sold for hundreds, and in rare conditions, nearly $1,000 or more. The highest recorded sale for a flawless 1976 D Lincoln penny, certified as MS-68 red by PCGS, exceeded several $1,000s, showing just how hot the market is for quality examples. So, what should you do if you have a 1976 D Lincoln penny? First, examine it carefully. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to check for doubling in the lettering or mint mark. Look at the fields for any signs of shine or scratches that could affect the grade. If it appears nearly perfect with full red color and sharp details, consider submitting it to a grading service. A small investment in grading can unlock huge value, especially if your coin lands in a top-tier grade. Also, keep an eye out for any unusual errors, they can be goldmines for collectors. Let's talk about the future value. As time goes on, the supply of high-quality copper Lincoln pennies will only decrease. Many have been lost, damaged, or melted down. This scarcity combined with strong collector interest ensures that the market value will continue to climb. So even if your penny isn't worth hundreds today, holding onto it could be a smart long-term investment. Collectors love coins from significant historical years, and 1976, the bicentennial year, will always hold a special place in American history. Now imagine this: one day you go through an old jar of coins, and you find a shiny 1976 D penny. You send it for grading, and it comes back as MS-68 red, worth nearly $1,000. That's the thrill of coin collecting. It's not just about the money, it's about the history, the craftsmanship, and the stories hidden in every small piece of metal. Each coin has traveled through time, passing through countless hands, carrying with it the energy of an era gone by. So, if you have a 1976 D Lincoln penny, don't overlook it. Study it, protect it, and cherish it. It's a piece of American heritage that might just surprise you with its value. And remember, the most valuable coins aren't always the oldest or the rarest, sometimes they're the ones sitting quietly in your change, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows their worth. Thank you for watching USA Coins 1, where every coin tells a story and every penny could be worth a fortune. If you enjoyed learning about the Liberty 1976 D Lincoln penny, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video about rare and valuable US coins. Keep collecting, keep exploring, and who knows, the next treasure might already be in your pocket. This is USA Coins 1, and we'll see you in the next video. Today, get ready for one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern US history, the Liberty 1982 Lincoln penny. This coin has shocked collectors for decades because of its mysterious history, its metal change, its rare varieties, and the massive value some of them have reached in today's market. So if you have a jar of old pennies sitting at home, don't move an inch, because one of them could easily be worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million. Let's dive into the story of the 1982 Lincoln penny, a coin that changed the course of U.S. minting history forever. The year 1982 was one of the most important years for the U.S. Mint. Before this year, all Lincoln pennies were made primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. But because the cost of copper started to skyrocket, it became more expensive to make the penny than the coin was actually worth. So, the US Mint decided to switch to a cheaper metal composition, a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. That means after mid-1982, all pennies were made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. However, that transition didn't happen overnight. It happened right in the middle of 1982, which means there were two different types of 1982 pennies, copper and zinc. And here's where the story gets incredible. During the switch, the Mint produced several different varieties of the 1982 penny, making it one of the most complex and collectible years in U.S. coinage. There were 7 main varieties in total: 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and 1982 D large date zinc. But there's one more coin that made history, the 1982 D small date copper penny, and that one is an absolute legend. Now listen carefully, the 1982 D small date copper penny is not supposed to exist. According to official Mint records, no copper coins should have been struck in Denver during the small date design production run. But somehow, a few copper planchets, blank coins left over from the earlier part of the year, were accidentally mixed in and struck with the new 1982 D small date dies. This minting mistake created one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents ever discovered. In 2019, one of these 1982 D small date copper pennies was sold for an unbelievable price of $18,000. Since then, coin experts believe that only a few examples exist, and if another one surfaces in perfect mint condition, it could fetch even more. Some collectors have estimated its potential worth at over $100,000 or more depending on condition, rarity, and demand. So yes, your 1982 penny might be worth a fortune, especially if you know what to look for, but even beyond that rare variety, the 1982 pennies are packed with collector interest. The copper versions alone are becoming harder to find in circulation because most of them have been pulled out by collectors or melted for their copper value. Each copper 1982 penny has roughly 2 cents worth of metal value, which may not sound like much, but it adds up quickly for large collections. The zinc versions, on the other hand, are lighter, and you can easily tell the difference by the weight. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. A simple digital scale can help you determine which kind you have. Now let's talk about grading and market value. If your 1982 penny is uncirculated, with a bright red luster and no scratches, you could be holding a coin worth several dollars or even hundreds, depending on its type. A 1982 small date zinc penny in perfect condition has sold for more than $300. The large date copper pennies in high mint state grades can bring $25 to $50 easily. And if your coin has full red color, strong strike, and no toning, professional grading can multiply its value even more. Collectors love this coin because it represents a major turning point in U.S. coinage, the transition from the old, heavy copper coins to the new, lighter zinc ones. It's literally the dividing line between two eras of the Lincoln cent. And the fun part is, you can still find these in pocket change or old coin rolls from the bank. People often overlook them, not realizing that one tiny difference in the lettering or the weight could turn a 1-cent coin into a life-changing discovery. Another thing to look out for is error coins. Some 1982 pennies were struck off-center, some have double dies, and others show die cracks or plating bubbles on the zinc coins. All of these can add significant value depending on how major the error is. Even small imperfections can raise interest among collectors. A dramatic off-center 1982 penny could sell for $100 or more, while a double-die variety could reach into the thousands if certified by PCGS or NGC.AS of the current market. In 2025, the 1982 Lincoln penny remains one of the most searched and collected coins online and at coin shows across the United States. The market has been steady, with copper pennies being hoarded and premium examples still commanding top prices. A perfectly graded 1982 D small date zinc penny in MS67 red condition can bring around $1,000, while the 1982 D small date copper, the king of them all, could easily reach values above $898,956 if a new pristine example surfaces at auction. That's right, almost $900,000 for a 1-cent coin, proving that treasure can truly hide in plain sight. So next time you see a 1982 penny, don't just toss it aside. Pick it up, weigh it, and check the date and mint mark carefully. You could be holding one of the rarest Lincoln cents in American history. Remember, collectors, these coins tell a story of change, economics, and history captured in copper and zinc. And for coin lovers like us, that's what makes every penny worth searching for. If you enjoyed learning about the 1982 Liberty Lincoln penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to USA Coins 1, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next treasure hunt into the amazing world of rare US coins. We bring you the real stories, the market updates, and the hidden gems that could be sitting right in your hands. Thank you for watching USA Coins 1, where every coin has a story, and every story might just lead you to a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins among collectors and treasure hunters, the 1983 Liberty Lincoln penny. This humble 1-cent piece, minted over 4 decades ago, carries an incredible story of change, mystery, and value that has captured the attention of coin enthusiasts across America and beyond. So stay with me till the end because this penny could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, some examples have sold for hundreds, thousands, and even close to $1 million depending on condition, rarity, and error type. Let's start with the history behind the 1983 Lincoln penny. This coin marks an important chapter in U.S. minting history. In 1982, the United States Mint made a dramatic change to the penny's composition. Before 1982, Lincoln cents were made primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. But as copper prices surged, the cost of producing a penny became more than its face value. So, in mid-1982, the mint switched to a cheaper composition, 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating. That means the 1983 Lincoln penny was the first full year of the new zinc core pennies, which are much lighter than the older copper ones. However, this change also led to one of the most fascinating stories in modern coin history, the accidental creation of a few 1983 pennies struck on the wrong metal planchets. Imagine finding a 1983 penny that shouldn't even exist, a coin struck in solid copper when all were supposed to be zinc. Such an error is known as the 1983 copper Lincoln cent. Only a handful have ever been discovered, and they are among the most valuable modern pennies ever found. One of these rare 1983 copper pennies was sold for more than $18,000, and another specimen in pristine condition reached over $20,000 in auction. Some experts believe that if a flawless example in top condition were to appear today, it could fetch a market price near $898,955, depending on collector demand and the uniqueness of the strike. Now, let's talk about how to identify if your 1983 penny is one of those rare treasures. The easiest way is to check its weight. A regular 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while a rare copper one weighs around 3.1 grams. That small difference can mean the difference between 1 cent and thousands of dollars. So, if you've got a 1983 penny, grab a digital scale and check it carefully. If it weighs closer to 3.1 grams, don't spend it, you might be holding a fortune. Also, look for mint marks. The 1983 pennies were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, for proofs. Each has its own variations and potential value. Let's take a closer look at each. The 1983 Philadelphia penny, without a mint mark, was produced in huge numbers, over 7 billion coins. However, some rare double die errors and copper planchet errors from this mint are known to exist. These are the ones collectors dream about. A regular circulated example might be worth only a few cents, but one in mint state condition, graded MS65 or higher, can bring $10 to $25. A double die obverse error could jump into hundreds, and a verified copper planchet example could hit thousands or more. Next, the 1983 D penny, the Denver Mint version. It's equally interesting because it has also produced a few legendary errors, including the 1983 D copper planchet penny. Only one confirmed specimen is known to exist, and this coin has reached near mythical status among collectors. Imagine finding one of these, a coin worth nearly $900,000 in today's collector market depending on grade, authenticity, and demand. Regular 1983 D pennies in uncirculated grades are still collectible, fetching between $10 and $50, while proof-like specimens or full red examples can go higher. And then there's the 1983 S-proof penny, minted in San Francisco exclusively for collectors. These coins were never intended for circulation. With mirror-like finishes and sharp details, the 1983 S-proofs are popular in collector sets. They typically sell for around $2 to $10, but a deep cameo flawless example in PR70 grade can reach $75 or more. While these proofs aren't copper planchet errors, they are stunning representations of the Lincoln design and hold long-term collector value. Let's not forget the design itself. The Lincoln cent designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 remains one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile facing right with the word "Liberty" to his left and the date 1983 to his right. Above him, the national motto, "In God We Trust," reminds us of the country's enduring values. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, beautifully detailed, symbolizing unity and remembrance. Hidden within the memorial, if you look closely under magnification, you can even see the tiny image of Lincoln's statue inside, making this design both artistic and historic. Now let's talk about the current market value of the 1983 Lincoln penny in 2025. Prices fluctuate based on metal demand, collector interest, and grading trends. Common 1983 zinc pennies are worth face value in circulation, but uncirculated examples can bring $5 to $15 depending on color and shine. Full red, brilliant uncirculated examples can go up to $30 or more. Proofs and errors push that number far higher. Double die errors range from $200 to $3,000 depending on condition, while off-center strikes or misaligned dies can bring $50 to $500. But if you have the Holy Grail, a verified 1983 copper penny, its market value can skyrocket from $20,000 to nearly $898,955 in pristine condition, based on collector demand and rarity. So, next time you're going through your old coin jars, pocket change, or inherited collections, take a moment to look closely at your 1983 pennies. The tiniest detail could turn into life-changing money. Use a magnifying glass, a digital scale, and maybe even send your coin for professional grading to NGC or PCGS if you suspect it's rare. Authenticity and condition are key factors in determining true market value. The story of the 1983 Lincoln penny is more than just about money. It's a symbol of transition, a piece of history marking America's shift from copper to zinc, and a reminder that even the smallest coin can carry a story worth telling. Whether you're a casual collector or a dedicated numismatist, the 1983 penny deserves a special place in your collection. Its history, mystery, and potential value make it one of the most fascinating coins of the modern era. If you enjoyed learning about the 1983 Liberty Lincoln penny and want more videos like this, about rare coins, hidden errors, and valuable finds, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to USA Coins 1, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We bring you the most detailed coin stories, market trends, and collector insights every week. Remember, treasure might be sitting right in your pocket. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, your next penny might be worth a lot of money. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern cents, the 1985 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it may look like just another common copper-coated coin, but what if I told you that some 1985 Lincoln pennies are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars today? That's right, this little 1-cent coin could be hiding serious value in your pocket change. So stay tuned till the end because today, we'll uncover the full story, value, history, varieties, mint marks, and current market prices that could turn your 1985 penny into real treasure. Let's start with the history. The Lincoln penny has been a proud symbol of the United States since 1909, when it replaced the Indian head cent. It was designed by Victor David Brenner to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1985, this iconic design had already been in circulation for over 75 years. But something special was happening in the 1980s. The U.S. Mint had recently transitioned from the traditional 95% copper composition to a new copper-plated zinc alloy in 1982. So, every 1985 Lincoln penny you find today is mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. However, rare transitional errors, like copper planchet 1985 pennies, can exist, and those are worth a fortune. Now, let's talk about where these coins were made. In 1985, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins have no mint mark, Denver coins have a small d, and the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins marked with an S. The 1985 penny was minted in huge numbers, over 5.6 billion pieces, while the 1985 D had an even larger mintage of around 5.3 billion. The San Francisco proofs were much smaller in number, about 3 million specially made for collectors. Even though billions were made, certain varieties and high-grade examples are extremely rare and can bring top dollar. Let's move to the value, the part everyone loves. A circulated 1985 penny is usually worth just face value, 1 cent. But the story changes dramatically when you find one in mint condition or with a unique error. A 1985 Lincoln penny graded MS-68 red by PCGS has sold for more than $5,000 at auction. Another near-perfect example reached $7,200 in 2023. That's an enormous value for a coin you might find in an old jar or change drawer. And if you have a proof 1985 penny with deep cameo contrast, those can sell for $50 to $150 depending on condition. But the real excitement comes from errors, and the 1985 penny has some of the most desirable minting errors in the Lincoln cent series. Look out for double die obverse, where the lettering on Liberty or In God We Trust shows doubling. Also, check the date. Some 1985 pennies show clear doubling there too. There are also off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and even misaligned dies that can increase the value into the hundreds of dollars. One spectacular 1985 D penny with a dramatic off-center error sold for nearly $1,000. Another struck on a foreign planchet brought in over $2,500 at auction. These errors are real collector magnets. The rarer and more visible the mistake, the higher the value. Now, let's discuss the design details that make this penny iconic. On the obverse side, you see the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Brenner. The word Liberty stands proudly beside his profile, along with the date 1985 and the mint mark. On the reverse, we find the stunning Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial. Above it reads, United States of America, and below, 1 cent. It's a masterpiece of American coinage history, combining artistry and symbolism in a tiny piece of metal. but what about the current market value? What are collectors paying right now? As of this year, 2025, demand for high-grade 1985 Lincoln pennies remains strong. Uncirculated red examples graded MS66 can fetch between $35 and $80, while MS67 coins often bring $150 to $400. Proof 1985 S coins in PR70 Deep Cameo can sell for $300 or more. Meanwhile, dramatic errors and rare copper composition varieties have sold for between $898 and $954 depending on rarity, eye appeal, and certification. These are real prices seen in auctions and private sales. So, even though billions exist, the best preserved and rarest examples continue to skyrocket in value. Why are collectors so interested in the 1985 penny? It's because it sits right in the middle of the modern era, far enough back to have developed rarity in top grades, yet recent enough for millions to still be found in circulation. The zinc composition also makes surviving pristine examples much harder to find because these coins are more prone to corrosion and spots. That means a flawless 1985 penny is truly a gem in the collecting world. Combine that with fascinating mint errors and you have a recipe for a valuable coin that's still within reach for everyday collectors. If you want to check your own 1985 pennies, here's what to do. First, separate them by mint mark, P, D, and S. Then, under good lighting or a magnifying glass, look closely at the date and lettering for any doubling or unusual marks. Weigh the coin. If it's heavier than 2.5 grams, it might be a rare copper transitional planchet worth hundreds or even thousands. Next, look for off-center strikes or other visual errors. Finally, if you believe you have a high-grade or error coin, consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC. A certified grade not only authenticates your coin but also boosts its market value significantly. The 1985 Lincoln penny is a reminder that even modern coins can hide extraordinary value. Whether you're new to collecting or have been at it for years, always keep your eyes open. The next coin you find might be a hidden treasure worth far more than 1 cent. The coin market continues to evolve, and as collectors seek high-quality examples from the 1980s, prices keep climbing. A few years ago, nobody imagined that a simple 1985 penny could reach nearly $900 or more, but the coin world is full of surprises, and that's what makes it so exciting. So, before you spend your pennies, take a moment to check them carefully. You might be holding a tiny piece of American history worth real money. The 1985 Lincoln penny proves that even a coin in your pocket change can turn into a collector's dream. Stay curious, stay passionate, and keep hunting for those treasures, because every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a lot more than you think. This is USA Coins 1, where every coin counts, every story shines, and every discovery could change what's in your wallet forever. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our deep dives into rare and valuable US coins. Thank you for watching, and remember, the next fortune might already be in your pocket. See you in the next video on USA Coins 1.